Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack, and this is a juicy one I heard last week. So, for the course of our lives, we have been using Windows on our computers, primarily because, this company set themselves in for the monopoly of software, and primarily in the use of, easy to use. I know I didn't make sense there, but compared to Linux, even Linux has existed for a quite amount of time, but it's difficult to use. That's why this OS brought themselves the popularity, primarily for all of the applications being developed there, all of the you can say in some cases, and I think it like that there has been some sort of bribery, or we call it for the word they use, lobbying. They lobbying to make themselves being the always receiving the drivers for whatever it is printers, whatever it's graphic cards, whatever it is memory RAM, and all of those components, sound design, most of the software right now is, being available through the use of Windows. But while we have seen the fuck ups they have done in the past, I still think that Windows XP is the best one. And when I got the chance to use Windows Vista, I am always furious because that shit was always giving me the blue screen. And then Windows 7 happened because of Windows Vista fuck up. And at that one, it was a stable OS, and most of the video games were running there. And like Microsoft moving forward, they decided to fuck up even further. Even we remember when Windows 10 was announced in 2015, it bricked a lot of computers. Even one woman sued Microsoft and won because she got her entire page business already deleted. It was gone. And this case with Microsoft when it comes to computing and gaming, and all of their software use that is for different environments, such as, we have seen it being used in, like medicine. We have seen them even going as far and install them in freezers. The ovens with Wi-Fi, that's fucking dystopian if you ask me. Oh, how could we forget that not so recent? Well, the blue screen, the infamous worldwide blue screen, because of a security update, because they had a third party company that fucked it up, and in medical machines that they were always connected to the internet, which is the most insane part of all of this. This fuck up ended so many lives that they were inserting themselves in a medical environment where everything was connected to the internet. And here we are. I made this introduction so big and large and tiresome because this headline report: Microsoft latest Windows 11 24H2 update breaks SSD, HDDs, and may corrupt your data. So in some cases, some SSDs got fucked over, and the HDDs, they are completely screwed. So I'm going to read you this quickly to see if they are pointing out why this is happening, because I heard some sharing why that is, but let's see if this article actually keeps. Last week, Microsoft releases a very important Defender update for new Windows 11 and 10 ISO in image installations that deals with the widespread Llama stealer. The security update was published right around the time of the Windows Patch Tuesdays for the month August of current year on Windows 10. So you have these one big numbers here, KBs, and Windows 11 this type of KBs. So continue on. The Windows 11 24H2 update has not exactly been flawless as exhibited installation issues, throwing up the 0x 0 80240069 error code, the company managed to resolve the issue later and has deployed a fix. And it does not end there, as apparently the update triggered storage failures that causes drives to disappear. I remember that happened to my mother's computer on her workplace. I had to go there and fix it because not many rely themselves on actually putting effort in technicians, at least to a simple degree. She called me because the video driver was gone. It was a computer with NVIDIA graphics. So it deleted NVIDIA just for the Windows graphics card driver and just like, are you fucking for real, man? Well, continue on. So that caused drives to disappear, making them and their corresponding smart self-monitoring analysis and reporting technology unreliable by the OS according to a new report. The issue purportedly surfaces during heavy bright operations to certain NVMe SSDs as well as HDDs, especially when continuous sustained rise approach 50 gigabytes on DRAMs and exceeds 60% controller usage. And this is something, yeah, this is the part I heard. So the reason why these SSDs and all those hard drives got screwed over is because, yeah, they say, oh, at this point right now, everyone should have a SSD. Ah, we should not care if this shit is unoptimized, since SSD is so faster than HDDs. Ah, it doesn't matter. We are going to push that script. We are going to push that update. Library of that one. The SSDs are going to handle it. Thinking like a foul, mouth breathing the hire technician activist inside this fucking company or the manager. We have seen this problem with software increasing over and over when we are seeing how video games are so unoptimized. Hell, even we have seen how software has been unoptimized. Even I remember back in the day when we used to enjoy Office with what is it? Microsoft Office 2003. Yeah, 2003. And then there was a jump with 2007, and then it required a certain amount of resources, but it had certain improvements. And then they released it 2010, and everything went out the toilet. So you needed a better computer just to run that version of Windows Office. Well, Microsoft Office, primarily using Word, Excel, and, well, if you were on high school or college, PowerPoint. And it is not stopping that. At least in the past, we even used to have the software full license without the requirement of always being connected online to verify the license. That's why I am fucking against DRM at the smallest one. The smallest glimpse. Primarily because shit like this. And then we're seeing right now with the fucking Microsoft Office 365, and it's getting worse. Even even if you're having a Windows 11 computer with high specs, you're still seeing that shit just struggling. And it's because, well, they are not optimizing their software, just like they are not optimizing video games. People don't even from the gaming side that haven't a pension yet. Hey, they're forcing you to use an SSD, but because the game is not optimized, it takes a lot of lectures within the SSD, within the files, to, well, boot up the game, load screens, the game title, the gameplay. But you know what's happening in the long run? Or no, even I'm not going to say long run. Let's look at the short, at best, medium run. You are overexhausting the lecture of those SSDs, and they're going to die faster. If HDDs, they already put in the screenshots because they know full well that those hard drives, they're going to die. And, well, Microsoft, in their way to commit themselves to hey to the quota to make a fix while slapping them in also with another one and just, well, shoving it down on everyone's computers. Yeah, no wonder this shit happened. And especially if they are just relying so much on the SSDs. I'm not against SSDs, they are a blessing even when for all computers actually helps them a lot. The software that used to be optimized for those computers, yeah, it's even going to run better at best. As much as the capables of your processors, your memory RAM, and if you have a graphic card there, yeah, they are going to work just fine. But for modern stuff, not only video games, software even. That's why I despise. Alongside that, yeah, Windows 11 is a live service OS. When they are fucking everything up like this, yeah, we need new alternatives. That's why Linux exists because, yeah, Mac is not even an option to be honest. Mac is nah. Don't fool yourself with that one. And even for the fuckers that Steam have brought themselves recently, I still think that SteamOS is the best option because they are making a Linux version for gaming, and if they are making it for gaming, it means that they are optimizing it primarily because, hey, if we don't actually make games that work in this one, well, it's going to be an issue. And also, they are going to force other developers to, if they want to appeal in that one, to that version, even if they are not releasing their game directly on Steam, but in other ways to be run on Linux, hey, at least they are going to put that effort in optimization. Because this is getting out of hand in every single ambit of all of this technological landscape. Continue on, because I know I'm taking too long with this video. This could potentially lead to a quote-unquote high likelihood of file corruption when symptoms occurs, as report, translated from Japanese by Grok AI. So yeah, all of your files, even if you did partitions between your SSD, but that one, there's just going to be overexhausted. The SSD entirely is going to be corrupted, and well, it's just going to end up being a fancy paperweight. That's why I'm also saying no. Buy all the external storage you can get, internal and external, just because of shit like this. Yeah, even I learned the hard way when I lost important stuff, and it happened to me 2 times. The report speculates that this could be due to a malfunction in the drive cache subsystem. Symptoms are said to recur predictably after system reboot, which temporarily restores drive visibility but does not address the underlying fault. Affected users are said to be consistent experience failure under similar workload patterns within minutes. So yeah, just chucking that shit to the gun banging it with all of those updates. It's just fucking disgusting, man. So let's continue. Further analysis has suggested that SSDs built in Phison's NAND control, especially DRAM-less models, exhibit failures at lower write volumes. Reports suggest that the select enterprise-grade HDDs also display comparable symptoms under intense writes. All of this shit is just getting out of hand. It is. The lack of optimization, yeah, the blatant dependence, over dependence of the SSD lecture. I'm going to let that do all the work, just like modern game developers in AAA are relying themselves every single time with the graphics card instead of actually putting the optimization. Yeah, this fucking nonsense is just getting to the point that even we have seen technology progress and this is going backwards entirely. Paying more for even hardware, even if you are not on gaming, but you needed this computer just to make your work on daily basics and Windows. Since most of the time you are going to rely on this OS because most of the tasks you need to do in your workplace rely on that one, you're going to get screwed. Businesses are getting screwed by this shit. And they're telling you, oh no, it's going to be okay. No, go fuck yourself, seriously. Oh man, further analysis has suggested that, well, we read that the issue definitely bears high similarity to the Western Digital SN770 host memory buffer HMB flaw, and in this case too, restricting or disabling HMB yields no improvement. A suspected memory leak on Windows OS buffer cache region could be the problem. Yeah, the OS is the fucking problem. It is. It's just making things so much worse. Is it's just getting it is bad, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, this company is just fucking everything up, and they don't care. And that what imagine what is going to happen in October, since yeah they are going to make most of the software being useless in Windows 10 after they drop support on October. But hey, how they're going to make them obsolete, you ask? Well, if since most of the software, for example, within companies that they need to pay license, well, those licenses are kind of scripting. Yeah, they are going to drop the support to Windows 11. They're going to blow you from using it, unless you end up selling the services. But if you are in a business, yeah, you cannot do that. You know why you cannot do that? Because the government's all those regulations prohibit of giving that option. But maybe even with this madness, something can actually change because imagine you are doing your job or you're hired to do a certain job in your computer, and if suddenly this shit happen in an important matter within your task, the OS failed, but right now there's not much evidence other than oh you were using your computer and this failed big one you were using this tax. Yeah, most of those businesses they are going to be so vicious towards those employees and they're gonna get fired. Yeah, that shit even happened before. It was not my fault, obviously, and I can prove it. But at one point they don't care. They're going to say, "Oh, so you were the problem." Yeah, it's going to bring a shitstorm for many people, and and for the video games, Steam is going to drop the access to Windows 10 for everyone because they don't want themselves to get sued because oh there was a security flaw that got exploited while you were using our stuff because you were on Windows 10. No, we don't want that. We are going to make them only available through SteamOS or Windows 11, and that's the main problem in all of this. Most of the good stuff that even you need to rely on because of well these concerns between license is going away. But hey, it is also going to make them what if you are not affected by this, yeah, sailing to seven seas. At this point, why we should care? That's an argument too. The businesses are going to be the ones dealing with this problem. For the rest of us, well, it's going to make just jump ship to the seven seas. Hey, Itachi is unoptimized. If it's new, but it's unoptimized, yeah, I don't want it. It's going to be my mindset. But yeah, this is an issue. This is an actual issue. And it's just going to get worse. Look at the lack of effort into optimizations that they're doing. It's just laughable. Jesus Christ. So, if you recall, that is something Microsoft apparently fixed back in October of the last year, but when we reported again in June of current year, it was still a problem as Western Digital SanDisk failed to appropriately inform users about the correct firmware patch, which meant Windows 11 24H2 was still blocked. We looked around and could not find other reports resembling such situations. The problem has been reported by a Japanese PC builder and enthusiast at some of the comments, and the thread seems to indicate that others there may be experiencing similar issues, so it could be a region-specific thing to, hey, screw on everyone's computer within regions one at a time. Let's see how that goes out until every region is screwed. Man, yeah, fuck Windows. Microsoft is just dog shit. So that's it. Thanks for watching and please take